An energy vortex is a spiraling electromagnetic field emitting from the Earth due to the electrical nature of the geology in such locations, such as Sedona, where we have tons of quartz. Quartz creates piezoelectricity, and we have lots of aquifers, we have faulting, we have triboelectricity, seismoelectricity. We've got it all going on here.
The U.S. Geological Survey detected the quartz crystals are creating their own magnetic field. Whenever you have electricity, and electricity is flowing, current is produced, and whenever current is produced, it creates a magnetic field around whatever's doing that. So the quartz crystals under pressure are exhibiting piezoelectric effect, creating electricity, creating current, hence they're creating a magnetic field. If you go to the U.S. Geological Survey websites and look at magnetic anomaly maps, Sedona's off the charts. In fact, their scale goes up to 400. It's beyond that. So they have never actually measured how intense it is up here. It's just off the charts. So I built a very large induction, they call it an induction magnetometer, and the accompanying electronics to go along with it. And I brought it up here, and lo and behold, I recorded spiraling, vortex-like acting, magnetic energy emitting out of the ground. And in another location, it was spiraling the opposite way, re-entering the ground. Now that's the laws of physics. What leaves has to reconnect with the main field. Now that's what's happening up here.
I brought my friend Haley to an inflow energy vortex here in Sedona, and I didn't tell her whether it's an inflow or outflow vortex. So she's been sitting there for a while, and I'm gonna go check in on her and see if she can tell just by how she's feeling what type of energy it is. I've now joined Haley at the Vortex site that I brought her to, and I'm going to explain what the effects of inflow and outflow vortices are so she can determine which one she thinks this is. So let's start, I guess, with outflow. An outflow energy vortex, when you are in one, you're going to feel uplifted, euphoric, and kind of like you're soaring up into the sky. And in an inflow energy vortex, you're going to feel more relaxed and pulled into the earth, and like you're connecting with the earth itself. So inflow would be more like connecting with the earth, kind of like being pulled into the earth, and an outflow would be connecting with, you know, the universe and being pulled up into the cosmos. So you've been sitting here for a while. How do you feel based on these two different types of vortices?
When I first sat down, I felt a pull downwards into the earth a little bit, and I felt very calm immediately, but also kind of blissful.
So what is your determination? Is this place an outflow or an inflow?
I think it's an inflow. Did I get it right?
And I really didn't tell her, right? I didn't tell you.
That right there is a very large magnetic inflowing vortex. And an inflow, as I said, is a place where the magnetic energy that came out of the ground in an outflow location rejoins, reconnects the planet's magnetic field, and that spot is called an inflow. And that's what we just recorded right here, was a very nice inflow surge. If you want to go deep within, just like meditation, you go over to the inflowing spot. I have laid on that location, and you feel like you're being pulled into the earth. Now, that's logical because the magnetic energy, as it reconnects and re-enters the earth, is flowing through your body, stimulating your brain, and that makes your brain have a feeling like you're being pulled into the earth with her.
Right, what do I feel after lying down there? I feel almost as if I am falling down. Now that's energetic because it's within the body, and obviously I'm not about to fall down, so something is going on, and it seems to be the opposite effect to what we get up there, which is something rising up. So very interesting effect.
I'm now at an inflow energy vortex that Benjamin Lonetree showed to me, and I will show you where the focal point of this vortex is located. It's right over here as I step over this crack on this rock that juts out as a cliff, so I cannot approach it from this direction with the dowsing rods, but I will approach from the other. But here's the central point here. And what I'm going to douse right now is the edge of this energy bubble or spinning geomagnetic field, and I'm going to approach it right now. So I feel the rod starting to go now, and the reaction is full on right here. So this is the edge of this inflow energy vortex that Benjamin says connects to the outflow vortex, which is a ways over in that direction.
When you're in an outflowing vortex of magnetic energy, it interacts with your brain activity, and for most people they feel uplifted. This is a very good spot to sit, and if you have any negativity or something you want to get rid of, release it and let that magnetic energy take it out of you and send it up into the air.
So Hayley just hung out at this outflow energy vortex for a while. How did it make you feel?
As I first stepped onto it, I felt warm energy pushing up through the soles of my feet, through my legs, through my body, and up through my head.
Is it a good feeling? Is it euphoric?
Yes, I would say it's a very warm, loving, euphoric energy that just makes you happy, that just shoots straight through you and almost makes you feel as if you're levitating.
I'm here in Sedona at an outflow energy vortex that electrical engineer Benjamin Lonetree showed to me. And the focal point of this vortex is actually right over here. I'll show you. This mound right here. And now I want to find the edge of the spinning field, localized geomagnetic field that surrounds this central point of the vortex. So you can envision it as me detecting the edge of an energy bubble, which is the outskirts of the vortex itself. So I'm walking towards the central point of the energy vortex. Nothing yet. Now I'm getting a reaction here. So this is the edge of this vortex. It's not a very big one. It's a nice little cute vortex. I'll try it again from this side over here. And my rods have fully reacted right here. So this is a small vortex, and the edge of it goes something like this.
So these two devices and what's in the suitcase, that's the electronics, we're going to be recording electrical activity here and magnetic activity here. The magnetic activity will be coming from the vortex, but we're setting up the electrical monitoring equipment to see if a vortex has an electrical makeup as well as a magnetic makeup. And as you can see, the overall magnetic field at the outflow at Mark's draw, it fluctuates quite a bit. Here's another inflow. You can see everything's going along upwards motion. That's outflow, outflow, and all of a sudden it goes dip, downflow. So even an outflowing magnetic vortex can flip and briefly become an inflow, and then it resumes becoming an outflow again. Why that is, I'm not sure. I don't know. So let's return back to outflowing energy. And again, always remember to compare the bottom chart in Sedona to the baseline chart at my house. And as you can see, it's pretty much flatline. There's no vortex energy here. But if you look at the bottom chart up in Sedona at a vortex site, you can see just how big of a difference it is. And now Dr. Michael Persinger at Laurentia University in Canada, he's published my research. He created what's called the Koran helmet, which is like a football helmet, and it has electromagnetic solenoids spaced around it. And by submitting someone's head, their brain, wearing that helmet to a rotating magnetic field that's rotating at 2.9 hertz per second, he was able to make the people feel God standing behind them, or there's a presence in the room with them. That's why they call it the God helmet. So I had followed his research, and I went, maybe that's what's happening up here with people. What Dr. Persiger was doing is stimulating electromagnetically the temporal lobes of the brain. Here in Sedona at the vortexes, the Earth's natural magnetism being emitted by the planet and the layer of quartz being focused through the red iron oxide in the rocks could be stimulating the temporal lobes of our brain. So there's two ways vortex energy, the magnetic component of it, can interact with us, either through the magnetite in the inner ear fluid or direct stimulation of the temporal lobes.
The electromagnetic activity in vortex locations, it does affect us in our inner ear fluid, the magnetite that's there, but as well, it's also affecting the magnetite in our brains. We have it in our brains.
It directly couples right into the brain. It could couple in through the magnetic cloud surrounding our head. It can couple directly into the brain through biological magnetite. There's a number of things that could be happening. It's going to require a lot of research to find out definitively which one.
And in addition to that, our entire nervous system is electromagnetic.
Yes.
That's the way it functions.
Yes.
So our entire nervous system, which goes throughout
It's
basically our whole bodies,
electromagnetic.
it's going to be responding to the vortex effect. So it's not just our magnetite in our inner ear fluids or the magnetite in our brains, but it's our entire nervous system.
It's our entire body
that's
in one form or another.
Right, to the vortex effect.
Yep, exactly.
If you want to visualize an energy vortex, it's going to look like this. So the spinning tornado column, the vortex itself, is this middle part here, okay? But this field comes out around it. And this is the shape of the field that's going to be surrounding Cathedral Rock behind me, or Bell Rock, or any other vortex location. So the scientific name for this shape is a torus. And I am now sitting in a toroidal field. An energy vortex is a toroidal field. We have toroidal electromagnetic fields around our bodies because we emit bioelectricity. We have this same type of field around the Earth, right? And the poles are here. We have the same type of field around the sun and every other celestial body. Probably all living things, because everything that is living does emit bioelectricity. So this is a very common thing that occurs in nature. Now, under certain circumstances, in this vortex in the middle, the spiraling column that runs down the middle, space-time can be pinched and create a singularity. When this happens, a portal can open and things from other dimensions or realities or places in time, whatever you want to call it, realms of existence, can slip in and out of those portals. And that's going to explain the copious paranormal phenomena that is occurring here in Sedona.
The crux of the toroidal dynamics is that it creates singularity at its center and an equatorial plane. And that's what you see when you look at the galaxy. You see a singularity at the center and an equatorial plane.
A vortex can be used to create a portal. You can create enough electricity spinning that you will create a portal. I'm sure that the people at DARPA and in the Pentagon know about this. The vortex is electromagnetic. The portals are electromagnetic. The difference between a portal and a vortex is the amount of electricity involved. Also, the angle, the time of year. It's a multifaceted thing. It's not you just walk into an electromagnetic field. It may have to be at a certain time, like at the solstice or the equinoxes.
Maybe in a region where water is spinning, fluid is spinning. Maybe there's minerals there that have high magnetic strength, or they might be, crystalline structures there, and with the water structure that's spinning and all this, it's creating naturally a gradient in space-time, which produce vorticity in space-time in that region. And then the vorticity that's being naturally produced in that region generate the portal kind of wormhole thing that connects the wormholes.
So if you had a clockwise spinning magnetic vortex and you had a counterclockwise spinning magnetic vortex happening at the same spot at the same time, and they overlap, you create a 0 point or a portal, an opening, or a tear in space. And could we physically pass through it? It's an unknown. Could our consciousness pass through it? Absolutely. Our consciousness, and I agree with a lot of well-known prominent scientists on it, that field consciousness has a magnetic nature to it. Since it's magnetic, if we're in two counters spinning vortices and a 0 point is there, our mind, our thoughts, our consciousness being magnetic would become part of that 0 point magnetic field. And yes, we could hypothetically travel through that portal with our conscious, gather information, and bring it back.
When singularity is present, is always because both rotations are present, creating singularity. And so you can think of it as, both rotation canceling out to create stillness at singularity. And it's in that still point that you have access to the portal. So that has some philosophical implication as well, because the concept of a still point was discussed by many masters as the center of your portal.
Anything that starts forming a vortex seems to also begin forming a rudimentary form of IQ. It's very strange. And of course the traditions out of India and China talk about us as having a vortex, and it's called chi or prana, and that if you build up a lot of it, you can begin having super heightened states of awareness. And is that really a super heightened state of awareness, or is it ability for yourself to go into other dimensions, retrieve information, and bring it back here? Is that what genius is? And the human body, it has this vortex. And then when you go down to the DNA level, you can see that DNA is also like the tip of a vortex. And in the spiritual tradition that I follow, it says that we humans are the very tip of a vortex which is coming down from above. And that's why a baby's head is soft when it's born, because it needs time for that vortex hole to close up. And that the more you stand up straight, the more you walk straight, your stance, you're doing yoga is really important, and these kinds of things, you create a better relationship, a stronger relationship with your own vortex. And when you die, your body simply unfolds and goes right up to that, through that vortex, which is the tunnel that you see that people report in near-death experiences.
Ben Lonetree used his specially designed equipment to measure the magnetic energy emanating from the inflow and outflow vortices. The data shows amplified and fluctuating magnetic energy present in the vortex locations, while the baseline non-vortex readings were quite reduced in strength and generally quite stable. I measured my brainwaves at the inflow and outflow energy vortices, and I'm comparing those readings to those taken on my couch, a non-vortex location, and I'm noticing that the delta, theta, and alpha waves are all consistently higher throughout the vortex readings. Delta waves are associated with bodily healing, relaxation, cell regeneration, improved cognitive function. Delta activity also stimulates the release of growth hormone and melatonin. Theta waves are associated with altered states of consciousness. They promote relaxation, creativity, memory retrieval, and intuition. And alpha waves are indicative of relaxed meditative states. They reduce depression and promote creativity, flow states, and mindfulness. right? I didn't
I
tell
really
you.
didn't.
I really didn't. Dude, I'm so glad we did this. Hell yeah. Thanks, Haley.
Thank God I wasn't wrong. I had to have
I would have put that in there just to humiliate you.